What is happening in the world? My name is Reagan, and I'm a doomer, but that doesn't mean that I don't like cute, fuzzy, cuddly little things and warm meals and support and affection. It just means I have a much more clear insight on the trajectory of humanity. Today is September 6th, and these are your past week's headlines. Biden gave us a grumpy old man speech about leaving Afghanistan finally after 20 years.
The United States ended 20 years of war in Afghanistan, the longest war in American history.
North Korea has resumed its nuclear weapons production at one of its plants, defying international sanctions. The world has finally stopped using leaded oil in 2021. The last place to use it was in Algeria. The EU dropped the US from its safe travel list along with several other countries. In the United States, the Health and Human Services Department launches a climate change office which will work with hospitals and health systems to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, because we'll start with healthcare and not military first. Most all of the national parks in California are closed until September 17th because of climate change-induced wildfires. So keep driving your kids in a giant Suburban to school because their future is totally not important. It's now legal to open carry firearms in Texas. It's literally the Wild West now there. Also, the big highlight of the week was that Texas banned abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy because, dear Lord, it's a baby child, Jesus. America is going to take in over 50,000 Afghan evacuees. And before I get any comments from some crazy conservative nut jobs in the comments thread, I just wanted to say that, oh my God, they're not going to come take our jobs. It's 50,000 people, you delusional fucktard. Honestly, because I've applied to thousands of jobs in my life, and I have an IQ in the 130s. There's no fucking reason why I couldn't have had any of those jobs and been competent and able to perform and understand the duties that were tasked to me versus anyone or anything else. Because meritocracy is a lie, and it doesn't matter about how smart you are or how hard you work. It's rigged. So I don't want to hear this shit in the comments thread. There was a shooter in New Zealand. Notice how I said shooter, like singular, not plural, like in America. It's never over. It's never over. You're always going to be wearing a mask. 2 new COVID variants emerged from South Africa called C1.2 and another one B.1.261. And I think, or one of those, the Mu virus. Either way, it's going to keep mutating. Like I said, we're never going to get a handle on this. In fact, there was just people protesting down the street this week about Dr. Kara or whatever, that's like prescribing some medication for it. And they're like, this is your freedom. Like, we've gone full batshit insane. The human race has gone completely off the tracks. Tennessee, in fact, saw the largest 1 week percentage gain of COVID cases. There were some protests in India, but I forgot where they were. It's been ongoing. I think it's something about the farming thing. They're pretty much everywhere nowadays. There's always a protest. And that there was actually an article in Fox News that reported this influencer or this journalist, kind of like me, says that why don't they report on me? Says we got 1 to 2 years. This is literally a Fox headline. 1 to 2 years to make massive change to our energy infrastructure, or millions of literally, he quote, millions of people will die and will be on a scale greater than all of the world wars combined. And I thought, wow, Fox News is reporting this? Is Trump reading it? And probably the most disappointing, heart-wrenching news was China-US deal on climate change fails before COP26. China's representative said flat out, preface before Kerry even got to the meeting, that climate negotiations cannot rise above other tensions, and that the U.S. should stop seeing China as a threat because, the U.S. has got to be the
big boy in town.
So what that means is they're firing up more coal plants. It means we're going directly into the worst case hellish scenario. Pretty much confirmed now. Unless we go to war and like figure out who's the big boy now or who's the winner. I don't even know. It's fail. It's a failed state. On some random news, look at this pile of chicken found at a luggage pickup. Just look at it. That's all you are, folks. Meat on a belt that's going somewhere, but mostly just rotting. Now on to our weather and nature segment. The Caldor Fire, a massive fire near Lake Tahoe, grew. I just learned about treetops spreading fire embers as far as a mile away. Imagine how that plays out. Multiple tornadoes touched down in the Northeast, along with flooding in New York that everyone saw, which killed dozens of people, remnants of Hurricane Ida, the 5th largest storm to ever strike down in the U.S., which plowed through 1,000 miles and wrecked everything in sight.
Chaos. For the first time in recorded history, the National Weather Service issuing a flash flood emergency for all 5 boroughs of New York City. More than 7 inches of rain in just a few hours.
And the Pope said he's sorry. Ugh. Nepotism. It's a curse on our race. Do alien races have self-appointed leaders? Are they that fucking brilliant? Whatever. And the World Meteorological Organization says that weather-related disasters to hit the world has increased 5-fold over the past 5 decades, costing U.S. taxpayers $99 billion in 2020 alone. So you want to talk about Afghan evacuees? How about $99 billion coming out of your paycheck? Okie dokie. This has been September 6th weekly update. What's happening in the world? My name is Reagan Parents, and I have a Patreon you can go to and support this channel to keep public journalism going strong. I just try to get the highlights of the highlights, what's important to remember about this week in history, because a lot of things go on, and sometimes nothing goes on. So I hope you enjoyed. Click the like, hit subscribe, you know the deal, or don't hit dislike. I'll talk to you later. Have a good week.